Thank you. Thank you very much all to you two for coming. And thanks to South Summit for making this panel possible. And really, thank you for relying on me to lead this panel again. And I'm really honored. You know, today we have here very brilliant people. Brilliant people often are busy people. And so really thank you to all of you. I know that wasn't easy to make room in the agendas for the event and for this slot of the panel. So really thank you for being here. I have to say I am happy. Today's a good day for me, first because I have to speak, but not only about my company. So I'll speak about the companies of other people. And I said not only, and because you'll hear something for sure. And also, I'm happy because we are talking today about aeronautics. That is my thing. And moreover, I'm happy because we are talking aeronautics in the South Summit. You know, you may be too young to remember, but it wasn't always like that. You know, and for those of you who don't know who I am Francisco Ingles. I am co-founder along with Mario and Nicolas, that they are sitting there, of Obutech. Now at Obutech, what we do is delivering cutting-edge digital and engineering solutions for major players in aerospace, nuclear, defense, railway, and infrastructure. And, but back in 2016, when we were finalists in this competition, we were coming from the Airbus BizLab Aerospace Accelerator. We were coming funded and incubated by the European Space Agency. We were winners of the innovation competition in the International Air Show of Le Bourget in Paris, and we were fully focused in the aerospace. We were committed to making things fly better, fly cheaper, everything. And in the competition here, they put us in the vertical of tourism, because there was nothing nearly similar to aerospace. Today we're talking about urban air mobility, advanced air mobility. There is a specific vertical in the competition for space tech, and there are a lot of startups that they are doing UAV navigation, satellite for Earth observation, communication between satellites, everything. They are making the new space, the urban air mobility, and the future of flight, and we're talking that. So that's something I like, and it's also funny because the first ever non-aerospace clients that we made, it was here. So it was not only, there was not an aerospace category, but they wanted to take us out of the thing, you know. You'll see there a lot of big companies about railway, about infrastructure, about transportation and energy, and they're still our clients. We are still here. The only thing that changed is that aerospace and air mobility is drawing more and more attention because we feel it near. You know, when everything is big and expensive, usually it becomes small and cheaper, and everyone starts to use it. And today we're going to talk about the future of urban air mobility, and these experts here will tell us what techniques, technologies, and strategies are implementing to propel us towards the future of the urban air transportation in tomorrow's cities. So, with us, now I have the notes, because if you were juniors, I would be learning by memory your CVs, but you are not. So we have Isidoro, and there's one thing. Yep. Everyone here today, we are from the same university. I think that has never happened in something like that. But well, we have Isidoro in the corner. He's a civil engineer from the Technical University of Madrid. He's an executive MBA from the IE University. He has a master in aerospace systems management, and the last 4 years of his career, he's been devoted to develop transportation systems for all kinds of governments and public entities and authorities. And the last 3 years of that 14, from Global Via, that is the parent company of Blueness, he's been committed to the Blueness project and their vision on the urban air mobility. And this is what he will say in LinkedIn. What I know about him is that a few weeks ago, he flew in Costa Rica a real air taxi from an airport to a luxury resort. It was all a success, and the vertiport, it was a heliport that they transformed within days. So no spoiler, because he has a lot of things to tell, but this is what he doesn't tell in LinkedIn, but I know. You know, from there we go to Ana. Ana is a civil engineer also, from the Technical University of Madrid also. She's also an MBA, but from the IESE. And she's been the last 20 years, more or less, fully committed to the transport systems and infrastructures in entities, in major entities like the Ministry of Development, with high relevant positions, and ADIF, that is the Spanish agency managing the railway infrastructure network. And the last 4 years, she's vice principal for the management and general services in Hospital La Paz, that is Spain's #1 hospital in all rankings. And also he's a worldwide top, and is between the leader in many, many areas and globally. And what I know for a fact is that she's one of the brains behind this project. That if you are here, is because maybe you're interested in urban air mobility. You know there are hospitals that they've been implementing a project for transport critical medical materials with drones between them. So she's one of the minds behind that. And Cesar is not only an aerospace engineer, like me, best of the best, but he's also a master, and he's also a PhD in aerospace science and technologies from the Polytechnic University of Catalonia. And he works as a project manager in the airport sector for AENA, leading the research and development projects in the field of airports and supporting the implementation of the strategic innovation plans in the company. Also, he's in the area of the urban air mobility. He's leading the work package of the Eureka project with a lot of budget and a lot of money in it, and developing a solution for vertiport collaborative traffic management, and also the participation in the Opera project related to the urban air mobility integration. And you know, this is very critical because AENA is, I always imagine it like the front row, the front line between the passenger. If some of you are ever going to fly, AENA will be the front row, the first image. So if there is someone working in the integration and the coexistence of these two worlds, the conventional air operations and the urban air mobility, these guys. And then we have David, aerospace engineer. Yeah.
Oh, another one.
That's why I called you. And from the Technical University of Madrid, MBA from EAE Business School, and around 2 decades in the aerospace manufacturing trenches in leading companies like Airbus, Aernova, and Aciturri. Those are the companies that made of me the man I am today. Yep. So have a lot of empathy with you there. And now he's in the production and industrialization director at Criselion, working both ground and air mobility solutions. This last one, the integrity, it's an aerospace, an aircraft with amazing operation capabilities. You'll tell us later. Yep. Also about your patented fly-free propulsion technology. So, first question goes to Isidoro. Can you tell us what's your vision about urban air mobility for next decade, and what's the Blue Nest role in it?
Okay. I'm here representing Blue Nest. Blue Nest is a spin-off of Global Via. Global Via is a huge infrastructure company, mainly focused on highways and railways. But we don't like to think that we are an infrastructure company, just an infrastructure company. We like to think that we are a transport service company. And urban air mobility, innovative air mobility, or the name that we want to use for this new transport system, is a place where we want to be. And we want to be a key stakeholder of this new transport system. Obviously that we are going to be focused on the infrastructure, on this new infrastructure that calls vertiports. But we are also thinking to have another business unit for logistics. So I'm going to talk about logistics and passengers, that are our two business lines. Let's say the vision for the next decade. I think that we need an intermediate point, more or less 4 or 5 years. That is the point for passengers, especially, where they achieve the approval from EASA, the approval for their aircrafts. Once you have an aircraft approved, you have an electrical helicopter with the same rules. You can remove an helicopter and put this new aircraft to start to fly. But
you can answer later a bit to that.
But with less noise, and less pollution, and less cost.
Yeah.
So this is key for the development of the sector, and I think that in 4 or 5 years it should be a reality. For this step, I think that the infrastructure that we have, the heliports and the airports could start to work, but government at this stage should start to think what they want to do with this new transport system. I mean, Maybe in the States or in some regions, it's going to be like the Far West. Everybody could arrive, establish a vertiport according to the regulation, but start a completely private business. But in European countries, governments like to regulate and also like to push these new things. And they have things to say. They have to say if they want 20 vertiports or just 3 key vertiports in key locations close to another transport systems, and how are they going to manage if the vertiports are owned by the government, but they look for another company to manage the infrastructure during 20 years, 30 years, whatever, in a PPP traditional model. And they have to start to thinking from now to the next 4 or 5 years. And then in 10 years, I think this is going to be a completely reality, where you are going to see different use cases, medical, maybe just for tourism, or even for transport between one point and another. That's for the passengers. And logistics, I think, is going to be at some point faster, especially in rural areas, where the regulation allows you to make this type of business. Even nowadays, in Africa, in Rwanda, urban air mobility for logistics, for medical purposes, is a reality since 3 years ago, and they are conducting flights every day. But here we have some different regulations, so we have to adapt our business. But in 4 or 5 years in rural areas, it should be a reality, specific points from outside of the cities. And I hope that in 10 years, also we can enter into the cities.
Good.
Fly-ins in more complex environments, but we would like to be
talking about cities and specific use cases. Anna, also you collaborated previously with Blue Nest, and tell us, please, how this urban air mobility could impact the healthcare systems, and please give us the specifics of the efforts you have made in the Hospital La Paz and your projects accomplished.
Okay. First of all, thank you very much for inviting me to this fantastic panel. I need you to talk about the importance of transport systems in our healthcare areas, because sometimes we find very difficulty situations. For example, you can think about the transportation of organs, or when you need to do analysis of a sample while the patient is being operated on your surgery room. For example, also when you have grid docket traffic and snowfall, heavy snowfall. Remember, those who live in Madrid, the Filomena, that we have a hospital, this Canto Blanco hospital that is attached to La Paz, and we couldn't access to this hospital for 1 day more or less, and we were suffering. And also when you need to transport medication and also antidotes in a short time of period between hospitals, and many other occasions, for example, rescue operations. So as we realized that we needed an alternative emergency transport, we looked for partners to launch a pilot project, and the first one was Alehop. We call it Alehop. We worked with Entity Data, Blue Nest, also Cloud District, Cell, and CITED. And we achieved to complete with success in 2023 the first tests that were related to the demonstration of the viability of this kind of transportation with remote control drones. We also demonstrated the use of a software that can track all the flight, and application, easy application to send and to accept the delivery by our professionals. After that, we decided to launch another pilot project. In this occasion was with Enaire and Blue Nest In 2024, we have begun doing the tests, and this project is called Welcome, and we want to collaborate to define the technical requirements of specific areas where pilots in the future could ask for slots. And these slots in these areas that would be called U-Space, and we are now working on that project. And in the future, we hope to collaborate also with another one, the pilot project called Alejo, but in this occasion is phase 2. And we will try to demonstrate the viability of this kind of flights in urban areas. For us, between the hospital Carlos III that is attached also to La Paz and the headquarters that is La Paz. So we are trying to make a big effort to collaborate to the future of these drone flights in our healthcare system.
Good, good, interesting, amazing. And you know, Cesar, there are a lot of airports. Sometimes there are hospitals near airports. So it means there must be a coexistence between conventional air operation. And this is now for their projects, but also for the future. How do you envision this coexistence, and what efforts it's doing AENA to achieve that?
Definitely, I mean, as an airport operator, we see the veriports as part of our environment. We have to think that for us as an airport, veriports looks like an opportunity. Firstly, because we have the infrastructure, it is easy to reuse or even adequate the existing ones. And secondly, we have a very large experience, you know, in the aviation framework. So this is the one pillar, you know. From the other side, it is the natural place. I mean, our business it is to connect people, to bring people to the cities. So why not a veriport inside the current airport? There is a lot of debate, you know, inside our company and even in our working groups. If we have to put it on the land side, in the air side, but it will depend of the demand, and it will depend of course in the use case that we have to prove of. From the other side, you have to think that we are in the front line, as you said before. If you are not from Madrid, for sure you arrived, or maybe according to the statistics, you use one of our airports. And you know, for us, innovative air mobility represents not only an opportunity to bring benefits, revenues, and non-aeronautics and aeronautics. Also, it is a part of to increase our passenger experience, to increase our branding. But the key point here it is to find the right balance. As I was discussing with Anna before, the right balance of the current operations with this innovative air mobility. Nonetheless, from AENA, now we are pushing pretty hard 2 European projects. Opera and Eureka are projects of 11, 12 million euros that aims to develop different solutions from low maturity levels to highest one. And from AENA, we are leading one solution team that we are translating or extrapolating some concepts that we are using now in the current airports, such as the ACDM. So basically, we are trying to implement the good lessons that we have nowadays in terms of operations to these new technology developments. Of course, we are exploring the demand, the potential demand, and we will see, you know, we are on the wave.
Good, good. And let's see. And we've been talking about regulation from EASA, electrical helicopters. I don't know, David, what do you have to say about that? First question, it's from something I will suffer if, in my field also. It's you're working, developing a device, the mobility solution, integrity, in an emerging regulatory framework. Yeah. So you have to adapt. It will be too risky to push the project schedule. It will be too risky also to fall behind and let the competition. How are you dealing with that? And what are the main competitive advantages of your solutions?
Okay, first of all, thank you very much for the invitation to be here in this panel. And as you know, Chrysalion mobility is changing how the planet moves, and that means that we are going to develop a new air vehicle And it's clear that we need to know what will be the regulation for this kind of certification of this aircraft. In our case, our roadmap is working in parallel with the EASA regulation. That means that we are developing at the same time that we are receiving the feedback and what will be the process for all the certification. In our case, it's an advantage because according to our roadmap, we are developing in the correct way, and we are not going to stop our process. Other OEM started the process before that us, and now they are suffering this kind of problems because they are stopped, the regulation is not created, and then they are designing something that in the future they are going to change, and they are going to have a lot of problems for the final development. In our case, as we are running in parallel, we think that we are going to have a robust roadmap, and we will be able to deliver our first aircraft already certified by the end of 2030.
Wow, ambitious.
Ambitious, yes, of course.
Yeah, I mean, we have 5 more minutes, but I think we started 5 minutes behind, so let's make it 10 for the organization. And so now we're going to talk a little about the future. I want to know your guessing, okay? We're going to foresee things. And Isidoro, first question, and second question to you. How do you see the vertiport network? Do you see very disseminated? You see integrated with conventional? Do you see apart from it? And you have to answer me very quickly.
Okay, I try. It depends on the city. We believe in a network, because if we are talking of urban air mobility around the cities, we need a network to move, like a metro, like a buses. They are all networks. But in some cities, you need to build new infrastructure that need to be connected with the airports, because they are the main airport. They are one of the main points of flights. And in another places, it's not necessary. In Mexico City, you have 1,200 heliports nowadays.
Exactly.
So you have the network.
Yeah. Interesting, interesting. Thank you. And Anna, you talked before, but very briefly, about the future projects. Maybe 2 short-term future. I want to know your big picture. I understand that when you're transporting, I don't know, an organ or a specific medicine, there must be security there. Yes. It must not fall anywhere, and there must be systems in the docking stations, in the navigation. So, what do you think? How do you envision your roadmap until this becomes a reality and not a proof of concept?
Okay, I think, as Isidoro has said before, that to achieve the future of this kind of transportation, we need to collaborate and to work together with administrations, and also have a global vision to implement a big network, emergency network in our case, for healthcare, that includes hospitals, healthcare centers, rescue points, also aircrafts. And I mean, if you don't have a global vision, you are not going to succeed. This is very important. I think that we will need also the collaboration of private companies, because the administration can be in charge of the control of the operations, but we need someone expert to develop all this kind of exploitation operations, and of course with service level agreements to achieve the best service as possible.
Good. There might be some point, and this I want you to answer, about social acceptance, and people need to get comfortable with that, with, I don't know, maybe receiving your burrito with a drone, or receiving your medicines, or sometimes maybe traveling to a football match with an air taxi that they were trying to do in Qatar or in the Olympics in Paris. So how do you envision this social acceptance is going to evolve?
This is the key question. I mean, if we ask you guys, do you want a free flight this afternoon? The first question that you're going to argue is that safe? I mean, so for us, we believe that social acceptance, it is linked to the potential demand, you know? So it is the key question of all this business. And what I have to say it is that I am too glad. I think that the first service that we push forward, with urban air mobility or even innovative air mobility using drones, have to be something that bring benefits to people. So today to have here, a service regarding health, it is great because we have to link, that urban air mobility bring benefits to people, and then, after implementing and deploying these kind of vehicles and systems, we will see, maybe some profits, but not at the beginning, of course.
Yeah, we will. I hope so, and we'll see it soon. And David, from the entrepreneur side, where does the money come from?
Well, this is the topic
who's behind these ambitious projects and emerging market, emerging regulation, technology, process, hardware?
But at the end, we need to fulfill all the certification process, because first we need to ensure the safety, and then is the key point. The safety, in order to ensure this confidence with the people trust that we are going to fly safe. And then we have created our budget in order to establish what would be the cost of this develop. It's so expensive, but we think that this project that is very robust, and we have different investors that are very confident also with us, and they are trusting in the company because of the robust roadmap that we have, the people that are working in the company with a lot of experience from other sectors, and also from aeronautical engineer.
What kind of investors are into capitals, industrial partners, crowdfunding, or?
No, in general. Currently, we have also we have two family offices in the company. Also, the Spanish government via CEDETI is also involved in the project. That means that is a robust project, and we are working very, very safe. And now we are looking every year for different investors with different capital in order to ensure that we are going to have enough money to perform all the activities. But we think that if we fulfill with our roadmap and we achieve all the milestones, I think that they are going to be very confident that they are going to be part of the team.
Thank you to the speakers for your honest answers and for your expertise and everything you have shared with us. And thank you to the public, and this is it. Thank you to everyone.